Two things can be true at once. Madden has been improving in some areas over the past 5 years. But it's also a terrible game that is still incredibly far behind where it should be, and EA has failed to justify why only they have been allowed to make simulation NFL games for the last 20 years. When EA removed all depth and fun out of the game with Madden 13 in favor of pushing Ultimate Team, a pay-to-win online game mode, Madden regressed heavily in terms of depth. So, the increase in depth from 13 to 25 now might seem like progress if 13 was your first Madden, but Madden 12, 11, or even a Madden on the PS2 like Madden 07 destroys Madden 25 when it comes to depth. Even the first ever Madden, John Madden Football for MS-DOS, had Create-A-Play, a feature that has been missing for over 15 years now. ESPN NFL 2K5, a game that is 20 years old, also does numerous things Madden does not do, and has never done, such as a weekly wrap-up show in franchise mode showing highlights from games you didn't play, a pre- and post-draft and free agency show, a legitimate broadcast pre-game, halftime, and post-game presentation package, a historic mode where you can play through different NFL eras in history, an authentic scoreboard, the VIP AI system, organic blocking AI, and yeah, there's a lot more I'm not going to mention for the sake of time. So when Michael Vick says to be patient, because EA has been steadily adding features to the game in recent years, I roll my eyes. Why should we need to be patient with a company that has held the exclusive Sim NFL rights hostage for 20 years? Fuck that. ESPN NFL 2K5 was a simulation NFL game, and while Madden 05 was a great game too, it was not a simulation game, it leaned more arcade. It wasn't nearly as sim as 2K5. EA and the NFL signed an exclusive rights agreement shortly after those games released, meaning only EA could make simulation NFL games from that point forward, mostly because the NFL wanted to spite 2K for creating a price war after dropping 2K5 for only $20. It was never because EA made the most sim game or had the best game. It was just pettiness. So ever since, we have not had NFL 2K, NFL Game Day, NFL Fever, NFL Quarterback Club, or any competition at all for Madden. And Madden has strayed further and further from sim, with game modes like Ultimate Team, The Yard, and Superstar KO taking up resources and gameplay additions like X Factor that don't make sense in a simulation football game, let alone the only simulation NFL game allowed to exist. EA was miscast for this role from the beginning, since they always have and continue to make arcade-leaning sports games. And what preceded was 2 decades of declining Madden games. Every year they add back some old features they removed in previous Maddens, pretending like they are new. Very few, if any, genuinely innovative or truly new features are ever added. This creates an awkward situation for most reviewers. Those who don't understand the history of this series might assume these additions are truly new, and might be confused why someone like me is so critical on these games. To me, adding back every single removed feature would not make Madden good. It would simply put it on par with PS2 Madden. It should have been there a decade ago, and it's still not caught up. In 2024, the exclusive NFL game should shit on 2K5 or PS2 Madden in every area, and further innovate and push the genre forward. Instead, we have a game with less depth than a PS2 game, and less authentic sim gameplay than another PS2 game. Is that not frustrating? I believe our expectations need to be a lot higher if Madden is going to continue being the only sim NFL game allowed to exist. EA never earned this position at the top. They bought it from the NFL. That is not how a free market works. In an ideal world, 2K Football and Madden would compete every year for your purchase, and the better game would be rewarded with more sales, causing EA and 2K to fight and constantly be looking to get an edge by innovating their games. Right now, EA barely puts any effort or resources into Madden. The higher-ups at EA believe they can maximize profit by refusing to reinvest in their game properly. As the only NFL game on the market, it will sell, since the NFL is popular. EA believes they can simply add back a few features from the PS2 era they removed for no reason in Madden 13, add some new animations, give it a fancy word like boom tech or real player motion, update the rosters and call it a day. With the pay-to-win Ultimate Team mode generating most of EA's revenue, they can't lose while they have this license. And they believe you, the consumer, is either stupid enough or desperate enough to buy it every year. It sucks. And if you defend EA and Madden and believe they should not be criticized, you are either a child affiliated with EA or a bootlicker. Luckily, the NFL is actually considering opening up their license. They are currently engaging in talks with EA to renew the license, either by continuing the exclusive Sim 1 or altering it into an open license. Take-Two Interactive, 2K's parent company, is reportedly interested in negotiating with the NFL in hopes that they open up the license so NFL 2K can return. These talks are happening right now. So if you agree with the rest of this video, and you believe the license should be opened up so that EA has to actually earn their place at the top of the market, or have the chance to lose their spot, then we need to make some noise. Watch the rest of my review, and if you agree with it, head to social media and let the NFL, the NFLPA, NFL owners, and anyone else who might listen, that we, the consumers and NFL fans, want competition to come back. It'll make Madden better, and it'll give us more options, such as the return of NFL 2K or NFL Game Day. Maybe a new company will make an NFL game. Who would be against that? Using the hashtag #BringBackNFL2K would be a good start. 2K isn't what they used to be, but competition can change that. NBA 2K also desperately needs competition, but an NFL 2K fighting against Madden should eventually result in 2 good football games instead of 1 bad one. Tweeting or Xing the hashtag #BringBackNFL2K could actually do something. I created hashtag NFLDropEA a few years ago, and it went number 2 trending in the US that day. If this hashtag starts trending, it could quite literally influence EA, 2K, and the NFL's current license negotiations. Madden NFL 25, the second one now, is not a good game. And it sure as hell doesn't justify why EA should be the exclusive creator of simulation NFL games, because this game is not a simulation NFL game. But it's a little better than Madden 24, another terrible game, so some might mistake that for progress. Personally, I don't think Madden has come close to topping what 2K did with ESPN NFL 2K5. Sure, Madden is more advanced in some areas, I'll give it that. It's 20 years newer. It should be better in literally every single area. But 2K5 still does numerous key things better than Madden ever has. I can't call Madden 25 progress because of that. I don't think this series is actually heading anywhere. And that's not even including the 60 missing features from older Maddens. This is the yearly Madden cycle. Let's get into the review. Let's start with presentation, since that seems to be a focus this year. Did EA put as much effort into Madden's presentation as they did with College Football 25's? No, not even close, but there are changes. I made a video earlier in the year going over all my gripes with Madden 24's generic presentation, stale commentary, unrealistic scoreboard and broadcast graphics, and a whole lot more. It seems like EA directly addressed numerous points from that video, although not as many as I would have hoped for. And, in classic EA fashion, the execution is never as good as the idea. When you first boot up the game, we get a positive change. First, we get some epic music with an NFL logo montage, which is nice to see. Then the main menu screen simply shows McCaffrey looking at you, but a real image of him, unlike last year where a digital Josh Allen would look at you with dead eyes. And instead of being forced to watch a bunch of cringy Madden clips played to a generic hip-hop beat, we get an original new Madden theme song, reminiscent of ESPN's Monday Night Football theme. This new theme song is probably the best addition to the game this year. Of course, starting the game or exiting any game mode leads to an Ultimate Team pop-up. We'll get to Ultimate Team later, but basically, Madden is throwing ads in your face to push you to play a pay-to-win online game mode where you can spend money on virtual card packs for a chance at opening a good player. It's stupid, and these ads that pop up are annoying in a fully priced video game. Clicking X or A by mistake will load you into Ultimate Team, which will take numerous button presses and loading time to exit out of. This waters down the product and makes the game feel cheap. Ultimate Team is also the first game mode selected when you first open the game. An arcade, fantasy, pay-to-win mode that features heavy microtransactions is the focus of the only simulation NFL game. This is what EA prioritizes. Behind the main menu sections is actually real NFL footage. It's almost like EA directly listened to my video criticizing Madden 24's presentation because I did specifically mention this. It's nice to see, but I wish it had more variety, showed retro clips, or even if it just focused on your favorite team and showed clips from that team only. It's pretty much only going to show Christian McCaffrey, Garrett Wilson, Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, and Jordan Love for whatever reason. I do like this change. This is the only NFL game, and EA needs to take advantage of that. Don't make me feel like I'm playing a video game by showing me a ton of bad Madden gameplay and menus. Show me the real deal so I can get immersed and forget that this is Madden for a second. This is good. Before diving into game presentation, let's talk about that new soundtrack. It's actually a lot better than usual. It has more songs and more genre variety, although not at first. For some strange reason, you have to manually activate all the throwback songs. And the soundtrack isn't under settings. It has its own menu because Madden has a terribly organized UI. But hearing Tick Tick Boom from Madden 08 is nice, if only the game was close to being as good as Madden 08. And I'm a huge fan of rap and hip-hop, but it's nice to have more genres than that in a video game soundtrack. Still no NFL Films music, however. Bring back the Sam Spence bangers. Team selection looks cooler than usual. I'll give EA credit there. I like the 3D logos, but the moving visual behind the logos seems to be running at a low frame rate, which is kind of odd. The pre-game presentation is basically identical to Madden 24. Same voice, same transitions, same graphics, same players just standing there. Have you ever seen something like this before a real NFL broadcast? I haven't. We do get 2 new commentary teams. Mike Tirico and Greg Olsen sound weird together. Tirico sounds almost AI generated to me. I'm really not sure if he is or not, but Olsen sounds normal, creating an odd combo. The other team with Kate Scott, it's kind of annoying. I'm all for bringing in female talent, and I don't want to come across as sexist in any way, but her voice is too over-enthusiastic. It's all about the tone. Kind of like a female Joe Tessitore. It's a lot. Brendan Gaudin and Charles Davis return for the 9th year in a row, and they sound as stale as ever. I actually like them in real life, but I'm sick of them in Madden. Apparently, crowd noise is now sourced from NFL Films. You'll hear more team-specific chants, and it's a bit better, but it lacks reactions to what's happening on the field or the overall context of the game outside of a touchdown. A last-second Hail Mary feels like a random play from the first quarter. It's basically just a bit louder and sounds a bit different. The scoreboard is new. It resembles Monday Night Football, although it has some awkward dead space on the left and right. The EA logo is really small and flush left, instead of filling the area like the ESPN scoreboard does. At least it looks more authentic than it did. When a player gets hit, the impact sounds nice. I actually like the new tackling and hit sounds a lot. Pre-snap, defensive players move around in a lifelike way. This is a good change, and it's something we actually haven't seen before in a football game to this level. It's the one innovative thing EA added. Don't say I never give EA credit. You'll expose yourself for not watching this far into the video if you comment that. The camera angle is slightly changed for whatever reason, maybe to make the game feel less like the last 7 titles. Some little things. Challenging plays is the same as always. You can't be specific, like in 2K5, and choose what to challenge. You also can't view instant replays in offline games until well after the play ends. It's pretty annoying. In 2K5, you could view replays mid-play if you wanted to. Graphically, it looks a bit better than Madden 24. The lighting is more vibrant, similar to Madden 18 or 20. EA does this thing where every other year the graphics go from vibrant to darker, and then back to vibrant. Are we progressing here, or just changing for the sake of change to make the game feel more different from last year? There's still no dynamic weather. Heavy snow is at least slightly heavier than usual, not by much, however. The sidelines are still rough. There's a mix of fully rendered players, and then these guys. EA probably has the game's memory maxed out and can't make the sidelines look any better until they rebuild the game from scratch. This legacy code from at least 2 generations ago is really holding the game back. You can only build on top of a game for so many years before you gotta start over. All Pro Football 2K8 from 2007 had fully rendered sidelines that interacted with what was happening on the field every time on the PlayStation 3. Most of what Madden falls short with has been done better before. The crowd also doesn't seem any better visually. Overall, I would say presentation is improved, but barely. A new scoreboard and 2 new commentary teams with limited lines can only do so much. Stat overlays look decent, but aren't frequent enough or useful enough. The main menu is better, but that is such a small change. The pregame does not get me hyped. The halftime show is awful, and it still doesn't feel like a real NFL broadcast. Nor does it come close to what 2K did with ESPN NFL 2K5 in 2004. It's better than Madden 24, but I still feel like I'm playing a low-effort knockoff rather than NFL football. I miss the days of virtual Chris Berman. Gameplay is exactly how you would expect it to be. Defense is terrible. Players stubbornly don't leave their zones, man coverage is useless, and the CPU AI never seems to improve. I don't think it's ever improved. It does not feel like College Football 25 at all to me. It feels like the same game as Madden 24 with some small tweaks. Let's go over them. Boom tech is actually better than I thought. If a defender makes a poor tackle attempt based on the angle, maybe he's hitting too high or too low, there's a good chance the running back will bounce off of it. This is nice and a logical use of new animations. However, I feel like we all have a short memory. Ignite Engine Madden did this too. The original Madden 25 did this too, and it was more physics-based overall. It also has a downside in Madden 25. Now every running back is prime Marshawn Lynch, bouncing off of every tackle, even washed Zeke Elliott, who is a 79 overall. Signature running animations look decent. Regular running animations, not so much. Some people say college football and Madden have the same gameplay. I disagree strongly. The freedom of player movement, the lack of suction tackling, the lack of X factors, revamped passing, and ball trajectory, just to name a few things, make college football's gameplay so much better and less annoying. I don't think College Football 25 plays like a sim football game, and I don't even think if they ported that gameplay into Madden that I would be satisfied, because this is the only simulation NFL game. But college football's gameplay is actually fun, and the annoyances of animation-based gameplay are smoothed out, unlike in Madden. Some people have said that college football's gameplay is a faster Madden. Madden 20 had fast gameplay, but it also had insane suction tackling, you couldn't throw out of a sack, which was a PS1 feature, and it lacked the freedom of user control that College Football 25 provides. Playing Madden 25 feels like playing a patched Madden 24, and coming from college football, it feels like such a downgrade. And it sure as hell doesn't feel like a simulation NFL game. EA clearly prioritized College Football 25 over the exclusive NFL sim game, and I don't think the NFL should like that. CPU AI is so bad. I've heard people wonder how it could even improve. It's easy, just copy what ESPN NFL 2K5 did. The VIP system gave every coach unique play calling and realistic tendencies. The player logic was also more organic. In 2K5, a defender will leave his zone if he believes it will help him make a tackle or get a turnover. Offensive linemen can choose who to block based on how the play develops. And running the same play over and over against the same defense actually yields wildly different results in 2K5. They nailed player logic in 2004. The players had free will and could make decisions. I'm not saying 2K5 was better than Madden in gameplay in every way, of course not. But when it comes to player logic and decision making for AI CPU players, 2K5 is vastly ahead. In Madden 25, players are stubborn and stupid. They will never leave their zones unless you push the right stick in, which will cause them to just blitz blindly. Offensive linemen will do the exact same thing and follow the exact same assignment to a T if you run the same play against the same defense over and over. Plays don't develop organically, they develop in a scripted manner. AI logic is literally worse and less complex than it was in a 2004 video game on a PS2. Players have no awareness. Holding X or A won't always result in an inbound catch because the game's AI is dumber than a rock. If EA actually touched CPU AI, maybe offline franchise mode wouldn't be so boring. Maybe people would actually want to play against the CPU. A well-programmed CPU would be unpredictable. Instead, playing the CPU in Madden is so easy you can be zooted off 3 blinkers and light up the scoreboard on autopilot. This is by design. Since EA makes the most money from Ultimate Team microtransactions, they have to cater to online gameplay. And they make CPU AI very predictable so that user skill on the user player determines games rather than the CPU players. This is anti-simulation and the only simulation NFL game for the sake of profit. In offline games, the CPU offers no real challenge, and cranking it up to all Madden just makes your quarterback throw straight to defenders and it increases your fumbles. This is not simulation football. This is a very scripted arcade football game that sucks. Knockouts seem less frequent, but at a cost. When you play a CPU team, their quarterback does not throw incomplete passes often. No matter how little separation a receiver has, they will always catch it. Enjoy playing against the Broncos in franchise mode and watching Bo Nix complete 29 out of 30 passes. Nothing here really feels new or fresh to me in gameplay. I really wish the revamped passing was ported over, as that was one of my favorite additions to College Football 25, but no, EA hasn't done that yet. Apparently, it's coming in a future update, but it's not currently in the game I'm reviewing, so it takes a hit for that. Release the finished game on time. It starts at $70. The hurry up is still ruined. Picking a play is faster than doing hurry up. It skips the animation of players running to the line and takes 17 to 20 seconds off the clock. It's terrible, and this was actually fixed in College Football 25. Why not here? Same goes for taking a knee. It doesn't run the clock down like it does in college football. You gotta sit there and wait. We are going backwards. The new kick meter is similar to college football's. It's fine. The new kickoff is here, and that's probably what EA is most proud of. This is a bare minimum soulless product. Playbooks are mostly the same, and without create a play, there's only so much you can do on the field. I really want some more variety to defensive playbooks especially. You can at least customize route stem length pre-play like in college football, which is nice, but not as nice as create a play, a feature that was in the first ever Madden on MS-DOS. Animations are ugly and awkward. The whole game looks so awkward on the field. It's almost comical how stupid it looks. Football strategy is not rewarded in Madden 25, but abusing idiot AI defenders sticking to their zones is rewarded, and some might mistake that for football strategy. At least the switch stick was brought over. Another annoyance, auto subs don't work realistically in the game. I was playing with the Lions, and David Montgomery was in for every single play at running back. I never got to see Jahmyr Gibbs once. You would think EA would create some custom packages for teams that resemble real life, but no. Nothing ever changes, man. Nothing that matters, at least. All I see are online meta tweaks to adjust the game for online competitive play and change the meta for the sake of changing the meta. This game does not seem to be getting any closer to simulating real football, despite being the exclusive sim NFL game, the only one allowed to exist. The only simulation NFL game? Madden 25. It's a cheesy online arcade game that is much worse than the college one they just dropped. Every year, they make some parts of gameplay better and other parts regress. Gameplay isn't heading anywhere. No step in the right direction here. Selecting a team in franchise mode does show more info than before. Nice job, EA. You really outdid yourself here. You can no longer start a franchise as a player, however. Only a coach or an owner. Kinda weird. The messaging system is new. Actually, it's not. I take that back. It's a removed feature from PS2 Madden. Just like everything else they add to this game. But hey, it's back. Your generic, nameless GM will send you pointless messages throughout the year now. It's something that might become better over time, but it's pretty basic right now. The other new change is NFL Draft Presentation. Did EA actually listen to my video I made going over how they could fix the NFL Draft in Madden? No. However, you do get a cool little motivational draft video when you first start the draft, which is a cool touch. I like it. The actual draft is terrible, however. The graphics are horrible. There's no audio to it, so you don't hear the commissioner or analysis or anything. Like the rest of the game, it's sluggish, awkward, and ugly. It's so half-baked, it feels like it was created in one day. Why does the commissioner look so bad? Why do the players look so bad? Why is it so slow? Player selection itself is improved, but like last year, you cannot see who you previously drafted. If I take a quarterback in round 1, go grab some food, come back and I don't remember who I took in round 1, I might take a quarterback in round 2 because there's no way for me to check who I already drafted. How terrible is that? Now is a great time for me to make a little point. I always hear that EA shouldn't bother with stuff like presentation because players will skip it anyways. So this draft stuff is pointless. Well, when it's this low effort and repetitive, of course it'll be skipped. This wouldn't have been impressive in 2004. 2K5's draft presentation destroys this game, and you probably wouldn't skip that because it's actually kind of cool. This new draft in Madden 25 is worse than I could have imagined, and now EA will get a pat on the back from stupid people for updating franchise. Relocation teams are actually still there and are the same for Madden 24, but you also get the option to start a league with a team builder team. Unless I'm mistaken, You can't relocate into a team builder team. You can only start the franchise as a team builder team. Speaking of team builder, it's a laggy website and it's heavily flawed. Although, it's better than not having created a team at all. It's cool when it works, but why was designing your own team gone from Madden 13 through 24? That's over 10 years. Why isn't Team Builder inside of Madden? Why is it a separate website? Oh, I know, all the legacy code. Why can't we give a team the location St. Louis? Why can't we design a stadium? You can pick between 6 presets like always. You can edit the field art, but not the stadium. I just want to design my own stadium like I used to do in Madden 07 on the PS2. It can't be that complex. Team Builder teams can't even be used in play now. Only when starting an online, private franchise. Can't even use it in an offline franchise. Create a Team was gone for 12 years, only to return handicapped. Outside of that, franchise mode is nearly identical to 24. Even the laggy menu navigation returns. To adjust your lineup, instead of a quick swipe over like Madden had just a few years ago, you have to enter a menu, wait some more, make your changes, wait, back out, wait, and wait some more. If you got sick of franchise mode in Madden 19, you're already sick of this mode. You've been sick of this mode for so long. It's the worst franchise mode out of all the modern sports games for solo franchises. Every player still has those same few faces. And after a few years, there will be 10 starting quarterbacks with the same face. College football fixed this with AI-generated faces. Madden did not. The mode also suffers from logic issues. You might have a goal to throw 35 touchdowns with a guy, throw 37, and then be told you didn't reach your goal because you didn't literally throw exactly 35 touchdowns, you threw 37. You didn't follow directions. That's just one example of many. I don't want this video to be an hour long, so I'm keeping it brief. This whole video is being kept brief. That's how bad this game is. Important stats like targets don't exist. Offensive linemen just get one stat. Long snappers are still low overall tight ends that are worse at long snapping than your backup left guard. You can't customize your special teams depth chart beyond kicker and return specialist. I want to set a gunner. Where's the Matthew Slater respect? There's really not much you can do. All the issues I mentioned in my Madden 24 review are still present. It's been 4 years since #FixMaddenFranchise, which EA responded to, and franchise has not been fixed. Not nearly. It's arguably worse than ever due to how slow and tedious it is to navigate through. And like I mentioned with gameplay, the CPU AI is so bad that playing a solo franchise is the opposite of engaging. EA caters exclusively to online competitive gameplay, rather than simulation gameplay, even though they hold the exclusive NFL license for it. I have zero faith in EA ever making a good franchise mode. Superstar mode has an in-depth face creating tool, and yet it still only exists within this mode. It cannot be used to edit or create players when making roster files or draft classes. If you import your 5-star college football player into Superstar mode, guess what? His college career has zero impact on him or his stats. He's going to be trash. You can only be 5 positions, unlike in PS2 Madden, when you could be any position, even punter, even guard. Superstar has been back since Madden 20, and this has not changed. In classic EA fashion, features are removed, and then a worse version is added back a decade later as a major selling point, and IGN eats it up. It's an unstable and awkward, cheap copy of 2K's My Career. The cutscenes in 4 Story isn't as apparent or annoying as usual, I'll give it that, but it's really bare bones, and it's pushing you towards the online mode Showdown rather than the actual NFL part of the mode. And Showdown is an online 3v3 arcade football game, and yes, this mode has microtransactions, which is why it is pushed over the NFL part of the career mode. Again, EA focuses most of their attention to arcade game modes with microtransactions, despite being the exclusive simulation NFL game. They don't want you to play anything simulation, but they don't want anyone else to make a simulation game. Fuck! The NFL should be embarrassed and offended that EA pushes Showdown over their own league in the default career mode for the exclusive simulation NFL game. I'm so sick of saying exclusive simulation NFL game, but I gotta drive this point home, guys. I gotta drive this point home. Technically, Showdown is the closest thing to an NFL Pro Clubs, but it's 3v3. It's not even like the yard. 11 on 11 gameplay with all users would be amazing, but I don't think EA is capable of creating that, do you? Navigating around this mode takes forever. Madden is so bloated by legacy code that nothing works properly. It needs a full rebuild. Or we need another NFL game from another company that is more competent. Hashtag bring back NFL 2K. Ultimate Team is the main mode of this game. It might be worth playing if it didn't have microtransactions and the grind wasn't intentionally difficult to push you to spend money, but it really only exists to generate more revenue. Historic NFL players are hidden behind a paywall, and matchmaking is not ratings-based, so you'll be facing 90 overall teams who paid to win, while your team is a 70. EA hopes that will push you to buy packs. I personally don't play this mode because I don't hate myself. Outside of that exclusive license, it's another major reason Madden has regressed over the last 2 decades. Minigames return. They are a soulless copy of the ones you played on PS2, with worse progression and less incentive to replay them. But at least they aren't a removed feature anymore, I guess. Last, there is still Superstar KO. Who even cares anymore, man? This game is full of glitches, bugs, and legacy issues. The main menu feels smooth, but inside of game modes, the menus become sluggish and unbearable. You can feel the lack of polish and the weight, the heaviness of the legacy code running behind everything. This is one of the least polished Maddens I've played at launch. If you only play online head-to-head, you probably won't notice anything that buggy, but if you play offline modes, if you actually play everything Madden has to offer, you're going to have a bad time. If you want to do anything with this game, good luck. There are misspellings all over the place. Oversights are common in these EA games. Whoever designed the UI within franchise mode and superstar mode needs to retire. EA desperately needs to start over and rebuild Madden from scratch. But they won't, because the game will meet sales expectations regardless of its terrible quality, thanks to the theme of this video. Can you guess it? Can you guess it? Let me know in the comments if you can guess it. Yes, it's the exclusive license. I wanted to add a segment here to use some imagination and explain to you guys what we actually are missing. When Madden has no competition and hasn't innovated in 2 decades, it's really tough to visualize what features we should have in 2024. But with just a little passion for football, and with just a little bit of creativity, there's actually so much EA can do with Madden. Instead of constantly removing features and rotating around the endless Madden cycle for the last 20 years, they could have added the following. A historic game mode where you can replay classic situations in NFL history, just like what 2K already did with ESPN's 25th anniversary mode in 2K5, a game from 2004. With modern tech, that mode could be incredible today. The different NFL eras with iconic classic stadiums, uniforms, equipment options, the really old stadiums where the goalposts are shaped differently and they're at the beginning of the goal line, stuff like that, different broadcast packages, similar to what 2K does today with its My Eras mode, would be incredible. Look at this image. Look at it. Imagine experiencing that era with realistic graphics that really depict that gritty weather. Oh my gosh, in a video game that would be so cool. Video games can be a time machine, a fantastic medium for younger fans of the NFL to experience for themselves the rich history of the league and its best players that they're too young to have seen live. I understand licensing all 53 players for those teams would be impossible. I get it. That's why you make it a moments type mode, focusing on moments that feature the players you can get the rights to. Quarterbacks and skill position players should at least be licensed. If most of the roster is generic filler, so be it. But allowing users to customize these historic rosters manually and even share them online would be ideal. Imagine running through mud in black and white as Jim Brown, or recreating the David Tyree helmet catch as the '07 Giants in that exact Super Bowl stadium with camera flashes in the crowd to really distinguish the era. Or imagine recreating the Immaculate Reception, which you could do in 2K5, by the way. Currently, Madden has no classic teams, and it has no classic players. They do have classic player cards you can try and unlock by spending real money on Ultimate Team packs if you're a fucking idiot. If the NFL cares about their brand, they should care about their history too. So why do they choose EA, a company that does not respect NFL history, to be the exclusive maker of Sim NFL games? It makes no sense to me. In terms of presentation, We should have a different style scoreboard for each commentary team with slightly different camera angles, creating the illusion of different networks for different games if you can't get the rights to them, which they probably could. There should be dynamic weather. Can you believe that's gone? Imagine if Superstar Mode put your player in an apartment with no furniture. As you play games, you earn currency, and that can be used to decorate your house with TVs and posters and whatnot. No microtransactions, by the way. Or you could buy a nicer house, a nicer car. If you've ever played NBA Ballers, similar to that, but more interactive since it's a modern game. NFL 2K5 had the crib. Let's evolve that into being a major part of a career mode, rather than avoiding it altogether like EA has. Let's actually innovate from the past, rather than fail to match the past. Think back to those PS2 Maddens. What did you imagine back then football games would look like 20 years in the future? Those are the expectations we should have right now. Instead, these games somehow have lost features and gotten less fun because of that exclusive license. In franchise mode, I should be able to play any game. I should be able to control every team and manually override free agent signings or draft picks that I don't think make sense. I should get comp picks when my players leave in free agency, because right now they leave for nothing. I should have full control over the structure of the contract I give players, complete with bonuses and incentives. I should be able to make rule changes, such as 3 downs instead of 4, or bring back the old kickoff, or come up with silly rules that are stupid just for fun. I should be able to choose future Super Bowl locations. I should be able to choose future draft locations, and every draft should be featured at a different location. I should be able to design a stadium, like I said earlier, from the ground up and create something unique that rivals SoFi Stadium. Me and my friends should be able to create a custom schedule each year in our leagues, and we should be able to play in games where no user is playing, such as the Super Bowl if we all missed it. We should be able to play it together on the same team in franchise. We should be able to play something like Pro Clubs online where all 22 players are controlled by a user. NBA 2K, with all of its flaws, actually gives players most of those freedoms I just talked about in its franchise mode, My NBA. The halftime show should at least be on par with ESPN NFL 2K5. I mean, that game's from '04. What is the excuse? Franchise should have weekly highlights that take what 2K5 did and improve upon it. Right now we have nothing. We had the extra point show in Madden 10 and 11. They took that out. Some people might skip these things. So what? If the higher-ups at EA actually cared about football or appreciated the license they exclusively hold, they'd make it happen. They'd be desperate to get people like me to shut up about 2K5 if they actually cared. But they don't care. The little things do matter, and they do add up. Madden currently not only lacks these little things, but they also lack the big things. EA could use real NFL stars for motion capture in order to make animations look more authentic. You might have assumed they do that already. They don't. Look at the throwing mechanics in All Pro Football 2K8. 2K did motion capture with real NFL quarterbacks, including Tom Brady, to get this right. Now look at quarterback animations in Madden 25. It's not close. It's awkward. Ian Cummings, the former creative director of Madden until Madden 13, stated on Twitter that the kicking animation in Madden 25 is still the same kicking animation he personally motion captured himself doing. For the last 20 years, when a kicker kicks in Madden, that animation was motion captured from Ian Cummings. It's from the PS2 era. Could EA seriously not afford one NFL kicker for one motion capture session over the last 2 decades? That's kind of sad. This is just scratching the surface of what an NFL game made with a high budget and directed by passionate people could look like. I will eventually make an entire video detailing what my perfect NFL game would look like, but hopefully you get the point for now, that Madden could be a whole lot better. Madden NFL 25 does not justify why only EA can make simulation-style NFL games. If you agree with this sentiment and you want to try and change things, head over to Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, Facebook works too, and start sharing messages with hashtag BringBackNFL2K, or any other hashtag you want to come up with. The goal here is to make it publicly known that the community wants an open license, so that other companies can make NFL games and bring back competition to hold Madden accountable or surpass it entirely. Social media can do wonders when you hit a corporation with negative PR, especially when it's justified. Madden NFL 25 is a game I probably will not be playing much this year. I don't see why I would want to play it over college football besides the fact that it has the NFL license. Gameplay is a downgrade from college football and definitely not simulation football. Presentation is a mixed bag and still shallow when compared to what 2K did in 2004. The game is riddled with bugs and oversights. Like every year, EA did the bare minimum to get by, maybe less so this year. I'm feeling a 2.5 out of 10 for the new Madden 25. I think the old Madden 25 is actually a better game, and I didn't even like that Madden very much. That's how far this series has fallen. And this is what EA has done to the NFL brand it exclusively represents. It's time for change. Madden 25 is filled to the brim with stuff no one asked for, like Showdown or Superstar KO or Ultimate Team. But it's bare bones where it counts. You might be thinking that this video was very critical, and maybe if I was more constructive. EA could use it as feedback to help improve their game. I don't think that's even worth attempting. If EA is making Madden without competition, we are doomed regardless. The fact that they need to listen to people like me to even know what to fix or change is a red flag. Why should I have to do their job for them? Why don't they know what's missing in Madden? They need more people who know their shit and actually care about the product. I'd rather push for an open license than work with EA, because only competition will push this terrible company. If for whatever reason you truly think that this Madden is good, congrats, you are entitled to that opinion. Play it and have fun, and I envy you. But even you should be in support of opening up the license, because it would force EA to make Madden even better. We all would win. And instead of charging EA $1.5 billion for the exclusive rights, the NFL could charge multiple companies a bit less for a non-exclusive contract, and the NFL will make even more money. People who buy Madden every year will also likely buy the competing game to try it out. That's double the royalties for the NFL. And Madden would probably sell even better because they will probably dramatically improve the game if there is a threat like the return of NFL 2K, leading to a product more people want to buy. By sharing the hashtag #BringBackNFL2K, we will give Take-Two Interactive social proof that there is demand for a new NFL 2K, which will help them negotiate with the NFL. The NFL will notice that EA is continuing to hurt their brand. I really think we have a shot here, guys. I figured I might as well try and do something. Imagine another 20 years of only EA making simulation NFL games. Imagine being in this same situation when Madden 45 comes out. Thanks for watching.